It says Digby Area Tourism Association, and I see Diane Terrio past chair, and I do not see Mr. Ian Barnes chair, but I do see Dean Kenley, who is the chair of
Co-chair.
the co-chair, sorry, of the data. So I assume, Dean, it's you and Diane. Would someone like to move for them to come forward, please?
I was so moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Motion carried.
Hi there. I think.
You can bring it closer.
No, that's okay.
Okay.
I'm good. I think that I know everybody, maybe not Karen Adams. My name is Diane Terrio, and I am the past chair of the Digby Area Tourism Association. And I would like to take this opportunity, first of all, to thank you for giving us some time on your agenda tonight, and secondly, to sincerely thank you for all the support that you have placed in and trust that you've placed in our organization over the last year and over the last few years, because you've been supporting DATA for quite some time. DATA just completed phase 2 of our project, our product development plan, and it includes the large blue sign on the highway, the tourism attraction sign. It's on either side of exit 26, and it showcases 4 attractions in our area: the Balancing Rock, the Admiral Digby Museum, the Whale Watch Tours, and the Digby Pines Golf Course. And DATA placed 26 service symbols throughout the area, from Weymouth to Bear River, down the Neck and Islands, as well as around the town. We also placed picnic tables and concrete and wooden benches throughout the area. We have 2 interpretive panels and a welcome sign out at Point Prim. And we also have a welcome sign and directional signage ready to go for High Cliff Cove, which is in Gulliver's, which is a new trail, and it will be opening this spring. So part of phase 2 allowed us to hire a contractor to design a septic system for the VIC in Tiverton, and that the plan is now completed. And it will enable the community, with funding partners which have not been determined yet, to put in a full septic system, and it will enable the residents of Long Island to use the field in back of the VIC as a recreational field, and there will be a bathroom that will be open in the evening. Well, part of the plan is that there will be a bathroom open after the VIC is closed, so that will give more accessibility to the field. DATA is now moving forward, and we have formed an ad hoc committee to begin plans for the Bay of Fundy Interpretive Center. Before Christmas, community members formed the Bay of Fundy Experience Center Advisory Working Group, and we're calling that BOFEX, for Bay of Fundy Experience. And Dean will speak to that in a few moments. Over the next few months, we will solicit support from various funding partners as well as industry and corporation. DATA is nearly completed, 6-hour strategic planning sessions with the help of Adita. They're working through it with us, and we have just on last Thursday, we completed a tourism destination area workshop. We will be attending a trail symposium in late March. So we are doing all these things in support of BOFEX, but also in support of bringing DATA to the next level to find out where the gaps are in the tourism product, and how we can move forward in putting those and filling those gaps. As you know, or may know, that DATA now has a new executive, totally new executive. Ian Barnes is our chair, and he has the stomach flu this evening, or he will be here. He's been sick all day, and probably all evening long. Saskia Gertz, she's our vice chair. She is the owner and operator of the DP Backpackers Inn on Queen Street. Carol Barnes, owner-operator of the Admiral Digby Inn, is our treasurer, and Lori Isles-Pozeski is our new secretary. We feel that the organization, and we have several new board members. We feel that the organization is strong, and our new 5-year plan will give us the direction to continue building tourism in the Digby area. If Ian were here, because he was supposed to be part of this presentation, I know that he would tell you that he is going to concentrate on building the organization stronger through updating our website, and he's already built a great partnership with Bay Ferries, and data has put together, and I haven't really seen it yet because I don't think it's up online, but it is promoting the area on Bay Ferries website. So he's really, he likes the computer stuff, and he's really excited about that. He's also, I know, working on building our existing membership, expanding that so that data becomes the voice for tourism in the Digby area. Data has already, also, last week it was in the paper, has put out an RFP, excuse me, to hire a consultant to work on the governance of the BOFEX group. Data has set aside $1,000 for this, and we, at this point, we would like to ask council if they would consider giving us another $1,000 to pair up with that. And we would like to move that governance workshop. We would like to move very quickly with that, and we would like to see that completed by the end of March. So that means that the $1,000 we're asking for should come out of this year's budget. So I know that you're very astute, council, and I'm sure you'll be able to find $1,000 for us, possibly. And we would like to begin that process of governance with whomever we hire the first week of March. Having said that, and Dean's going to talk about the BOFEX committee, when the governance is done, the next logical step is to have a feasibility study to see if the interpretive center itself is feasible for this area. And that, we feel that the cost of that will be somewhere around $25,000. Now that doesn't mean that the whole $25,000 has to come from the municipality, but and I know that the Department of Economic Development will give us some money for that, but we need to have those partnerships in place to get that feasibility study done and to move the whole thing forward. So I'm asking you at this point, please keep that in mind for next year's budget. And I think I'm passing it over to you at this point.
Good evening, Warden, Deputy Warden, councillors and staff. Just to clarify a little bit, I want you to go too far, Steve. Just to clarify things a little bit, I don't know if Diane did. Diane's the past chair of data, and Ian Barnes is the current chair of data. And Diane and I are co-chair of the BOFEX project. And I'm representing Adita on this committee, and she's representing data. Just to give you a little bit of background and history on this, everyone in with data, Ian, Diane, myself, are in the tourism business. And last summer, I was downtown working at my business, and I think we all realized what a difficult and disappointing season it was. It was not fun at the beginning of the season and the middle of the season working and seeing what's going on with the economy and tourism in general. And the sad part is it's starting to become the norm. The one positive thing that I saw last summer, though, was the rumblings with the 7 wonders of the world in the Bay of Fundy, and how exciting it was getting and feeling and thinking that here we are at the doorstep of the Bay of Fundy, and we're the #1 Canadian natural icon, and in the top 28 with runnings like the Grand Canyon. So it was kind of exciting and proud for all of us, I think, to be a member of this area, to think here we are on the footstep of this, and to be that high up in the ranking in a world competition. So it was kind of proud and encouraging at the same time, thinking that that might help us, that might do something for tourism and help our economy around this area. And then I started to think, well, there's 280 kilometers of coastline in the Bay of Fundy, so what's going to make us different than all the other towns and areas for this attraction and the interest that we're going to generate from this competition? So I got thinking about that, and then when we all saw and watched the ads with the two premiers, you know, on international TV boasting about the Bay of Fundy and inviting people to come here and share this with us and share this experience. And here again, it was like, okay, there should be some interest and some traffic here for the Bay of Fundy, but here again, what's going to set us apart? And about the same time, shortly after, I think you're all familiar, the province's commission Marine Renewable Energy Infrastructure Assessment came out and pinned Digby as the hub for infrastructure for tidal power energy. And similar to the Seven Wonders, I mean, I got extremely excited, really excited. I mean, I thought, man, one of my phrases was, this could change the landscape of this area in this town in the coming years. It could be huge. So with all this excitement, of course, I wanted to talk to Diane, so I called Diane up and I ended up talking with Junie. But the one thing I just thought, even though it had been attempted before, I just realized now is the time. We need this project, if not a Bay of Fundy Discovery Center, a Bay of Fundy Interpretation Center, a Bay of Fundy Experience Center. So I got really excited, talked to Diane, and we decided, she hit the phones, and we decided to try and rejuvenate data where it hadn't really done much since she had stepped down in December. So she organized this committee and had a meeting right here in this room, actually, and had a great turnout. But in the meantime, I had written a letter to the Premier about Digby and the Seven Wonders of the World, and how proud I was to be a part of it. And I actually complimented him on the ads itself. I thought they did a great job to see the two premiers on TV and how sincere they were in inviting the world to come here and share this with us in the Bay of Fundy. So this is where we started in the fall. And I just felt like the time is never going to be better. Coming off the Seven Wonders with the tidal power energy focus and Digby being designated as the potential hub. And all the attention we were getting, I thought we've got to do something. We've got to showcase this Bay of Fundy experience. And with the Premier's letter, you can see it's quite encouraging. And he supports it. And he put us in contact with the Department of Economic and Rural Development and Department of Tourism. And I actually spoke with Minister Paris when he was down for the Board of Trade presentations in December, I believe. And as the letter states, the Premier told me to contact this Jennifer McIntyre, who was with the Department of Tourism, which I did. And I think we had a couple meetings with the warden was there, and Councillor Tudor was there, and the Department of Tourism was there. And they're very, very supportive of this project. I think the government really wants to see this project go through, but they're sitting back and they're going to leave it up to us. And they want to see how bad we want this project. And can we form a concerted effort and a unified voice in the community to support this project? And through our group, through Diana Data and Adida, we've thrown a wide net out there. We've invited a lot of people to be on the committee. We've got 28 people on the committee, and we've really reached out to a lot of different businesses and stuff. We've got the education, we've got banking, Adida, you know, Randall, you're probably familiar with some of the goings on. Another positive thing is Thursday night, I think it was, Randall, we were at the ADITA meeting, and we just passed our 5-year business plan, which was a huge undertaking for ADITA because there's been quite a few changes and areas of concern for Annapolis and Annapolis County and stuff. But this project, Bay of Fundy Experience Center, is one of the top priorities on ADITA's list right now. They did a questionnaire with all the directors and counselors and stuff that were involved with ADITA. And according to Liz, the executive director with ADITA, this Bay of Fundy Experience Center was ranked high just all the way up the valley. It wasn't just the Digby area. So right now, this project is a high priority with ADITA. As well, with data, it's one of the #1 projects on the data list right now. With this project and the timing of it, to me, the 7 Wonders of the World is incredible, positive spin to it, but also with the tidal power energy and this Bay of Fundy Experience project, it's going to be all about experience and showcasing the Bay of Fundy. And with this tidal power energy, I think it's going to be incredible, the synergies and the partnerships that we could form with some of these companies. I know this week's paper with the announcement with Fundy Tidal Inc. down in Brower Island, they're looking at setting up a facility down there. And I think that's great. Everything that's going to be done with tidal power now is just going to be positive spin for the area and when we get rolling for this project in itself. The other thing too is the demonstration and displays of turbines. I think people are going to be so excited, they're going to want to see this stuff. They're going to want to know, how do these things work and how are they generating the power? And there's going to be so many different companies and so many different styles of turbines and ideas for engineering. I think it's going to be unlimited what we could do with tidal power energy in this project. I think the project itself has to be in the Digby area, of course, and near the town or town area, and it has to be on the water. I see a lot of these displays are going to be water-based displays, and we've got to have a lot of water coming into this building, and it's going to have to be flushed quite frequently. So this project's going to have to be very, very close to the water. And another idea with this building and project is that, similar to the tidal power, we're going to want to partner with industries, whether it be tidal power or aquaculture, Nova Scotia Power, Acadian Sea Plants, not to mention our iconic businesses here like the whale watching, the fisheries, and the fish processors. The building itself, like Diane was saying, we've got to go through a feasibility study, and through that they will probably be able to pinpoint the demand and the level of the scale that we're going to need to make this thing feasible and put a dollar value and a square footage on it. But also, one of the members on our board is Roger Outhouse from the Bay of Fundy Discovery Center, and he's done a lot of research with this project. And a couple of the main factors that he says has to be there is the wow factor. Everything you do, it has to impress people. Like I say, the Premier's got on national television and invited the world here, so people aren't going to expect a small-scale project. This has got to be a world-class, huge wow project. And that's going to entail even the building itself. They claim even the look and the architecture of this building could be an important attraction and draw factor for the project. Once again, I'd just like to thank the municipality for the support in the past they've had with DATA. DATA's been a huge support for this project, and they bring a lot to the table, and we couldn't have done what we've done so far without DATA. And this TDA, this tourism destination area that we did last week in Weymouth at the Tom Randall, that beautiful new library building they have in Weymouth. I don't know how long that's been there. That's the first time I was in a building. It was incredible. And we had great turnout. About 15 of us, 14, 15 of us there. And I don't know if you guys are familiar with the TDA, but it's a tourism destination, a destination tourism
Tourism destination area.
And what you do is you catalog your area's infrastructure, attractions, and events. And it was really interesting. And there was a lot of things that kept coming to the forefront, which we could tell were our assets. Things like whale watching. One that kept coming up was the Wharf Rat Rally. But the main list of the assets for this area were Bay of Fundy based. There were so many of the assets in this area that we look at for infrastructure and tourism were based with the Bay of Fundy. And the other thing that really stood out though through this TDA is that we're a very, very seasonal operation. Most of our assets are seasonal. You know, the 90% go from May to October. And one of the exciting things with this project, and I think it's incredibly encouraging that we all have to look and visualize, if we get the partnerships, the industry partnerships that we want, if we can get Cook Aquaculture, if we can get the tidal power energy partnerships, if we can get Acadian sea plants, and have some offices in this building, and some research and development ties. This project could be open year-round, and it could become the base, it could be the beginning of year-round tourism for this area. If you can really see the big picture, it's just incredible. I get so excited thinking about it. If I get everything in this building that I want, and all the partners, it would be year-round, and it would be an incredible start to. If it was big enough, things would link to it. And like I say, through this TDA, that was the only disappointing thing of the whole project, is we had very little year-round capabilities in this area. So please, when you look at the cost of this down the road, we've earmarked 3.5 years for this project. And a lot of people think we're way too aggressive. But in my mind, I'm looking at the summer of 2015. That's what I want. But if we get this off the road, off the ground, and accomplished, it could make a lot of changes in this area for tourism and economic development. And like I say, you guys have been there for data, and I'm sure you'll be there and support this project. Dave's been on the committee, the warden's been involved with most of the important meetings and stuff, and we'll keep you abreast of what's going on. But like Diane said, with this RFP for the consultant, we've got to get incorporated, and we've got to get a charitable status and then move forward from there. And the next big step is the feasibility study, and we're moving quickly. Things are happening fast. We're meeting here again tomorrow morning, 10 o'clock, and right now we're meeting about once a week, and we're going to stay on that scale, on that schedule.
It seems like, I know you've all been involved with projects from time to time over the years, and it seems like sometimes roadblocks are put in place in front of you, but so far there's been nothing. Everybody's been really encouraging, and yes, go forward, and right from the premier right down through the Department of Tourism, and Roger coming on board with all the knowledge that he's brought from the Bay of Fundy Discovery Center, and he has been sitting with us meeting after meeting, so he's put us leaps and bounds forward. And we really never thought that we would go forward with this governance package probably until next fall, but it is time. We need to do it. The funding partners are encouraging us to do it, and we need to get our governance together and so that we can apply for incorporation and charitable status. And then they want to see that this is done right, and they want to see that it's done from the grassroots up. And I would love to see this as Data's baby, but I know that it has to be its own organization after a while. I really feel that Data does play a huge role in this, and that once that it is built in 5 years' time, or whenever, 3 years' time, Data will then be the go-to, and I mean, we already are the go-to voice for tourism in the area, but it will then, and it will have its own board. It will, that will not be the board of this place, and I think there's room for, it's growing. It's growing pains for data, but I think there's lots of room. Thank you for your support. And,
Any questions?
Yeah, good question.
Deputy Warden?
I think it's a great idea what you're trying to do. Just ask, though, have you gone to the Joggins Fossil Center up and seen what they've done up there?
I have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So in your planning, are you going to find out how they do as well? And when I was reading the minutes from some of the meetings you've had, you talked about trying to tie into the other centers to try to work together.
Mm-hmm.
So, and you also talked about having to have something unique. And like you talked about title deed, and excuse me, I believe there's going to be a title interpretive center in Parisboro. I think that's the intent. And so I don't know, but you have to find something that's going to fit the niche of this area and be really unique with it. What that's going to be yet, I don't know. But
The province has designated the Digby area in this lower part of the bay as the marine aqua zone.
Mhm.
And the intertidal zone, the geological aspects of the bay, the tidal action and the currents and both of the passages and things like that.
Yeah.
There's lots there that we won't interfere with any of the other
Okay.
whatever facilities that they have in that.
all right, thanks.
But to work in partnership with them so that we can bring in their displays and they can have some of our displays from time to time will be key.
Yeah.
But you're right, Jimmy, there's the Joggins Fossil Center, there's the Fundy Geological Museum. In New Brunswick, there's a Huntsman Marine Science Center and the New Brunswick Museum in St. John.
Mhm.
And last week, we had a meeting here and Diane brought up a newspaper clipping that there's a Blue Beach Fossil Museum being established in Antwerp. So even the fossil part of it, there's 2 museums now in Nova Scotia there. So. And just one other thing, to clarify on the name, we haven't officially put a name to this yet. The Bay of Fundy Discovery Center is not available. That was attempted 10, 11 years ago, and they had incorporated that, made an association out of it. And that group, which is Roger Outhouse, has done some other projects down Digby Neck and Island. So that name has already been incorporated and spoken for. So the working group we have is the Bay of Fundy Experience Center Advisory Working Group. So that's just the name of the board. The official name of the project will be in the line of the Bay of Fundy Interpretation Center or the Bay of Fundy Experience Center, or possibly the Bay of Fundy Marine Experience Center, something in that line. But, pardon me?
It hasn't been picked.
No, the official name has not been labeled for the project or the building.
Diane, do you have a letter for us for a request for the $1,000 with the budget?
No, but I can get you that. I'll have that on the
With,
discuss tomorrow.
with the budget?
Okay, all right. Our RFP, the closing date is the 29th of February,
Mhm.
I believe. That's Wednesday, Thursday. So I know we've gotten one application so far. So I don't know. Our budget is $2,000, I think.
Mhm.
If it's 22, then we'll get that. But anything more than a little over $2,000, I think we'll have to rethink or find somebody that will work for that.
And the same for your other request, you'll have to do that again.
Oh,
as a letter.
absolutely.
But I
That'll
assume
come
that's in the
full,
future.
Yeah, that'll come in a full request. That'll be up to both of the government.
I'm sure.
I have a
Councilor
question.
Tudor?
Are we able to get them the money before that time?
We need the letter. I don't know what's,
Should there be a motion to that effect?
usually we never make the decision on the night of the presentation.
But I'm just wondering because it's in a couple of
time
days.
sensitive.
It's up to council, whatever they wish to do. We have committee of the whole on the 13th of March.
You said the end of March, right?
We would like to, I think that we would like to really get this guy hired and get him working by the 1st of March, or by that first week of March, because
That's this week.
that is this week, yes it is, yeah. So, you know, I can't really tell, I don't really know, but I can't really tell you how much money we have in the bank, but I know we have some money that's earmarked for another project that we can, but having said that, we need to be able to figure out where we're gonna, we wanna rob Peter to pay Paul at this point, but
Well, we can get the letter tomorrow. We can put together a
absolutely, I
letter
can
quickly.
I'll do that on
We can
the,
have a-
I'll do that tonight, and I'll have it on your email tomorrow morning. But, we can delay this until the 15th. I mean, to lose that 2 weeks, it is, the reason why we want to move quickly with this is because by the end of March, the people that are sitting around that table are not going to be working. We're not going to be meeting weekly. And the guy that's going to do our governance, we have to go over the vision statement, the mission statement, we have to go over our bylaws, we have to go, so the people that need to put the governance together, after the end of March, we're going to be gone. You know, the season starts and people are not going to want to come to meetings. And so, you know, it's important for us, and we've been working, things have been moving really kind of quickly, you know, anyway, you know, if that's not a possibility, then it's not a possibility. We just have to live with that.
Can we put it on as new business? You could do
That's up to,
whichever you wish.
it's up to council.
I'd like to discuss it.
Put it on the end of new business today?
Yeah.
Okay. But we still need the letter.
Absolutely.
Gordon, one last thing.
Yes, sir.
Speaking of letters, it wasn't in the presentation, but I should formally request if the municipality and the council supports our project, I should get that in writing, just in case some government funding partners.
So again, just send us a note, a letter, requesting a letter of support.
I can leave this with you. It says, Data has set aside $1,000 for this, referring to the RFP, and then read this sentence. Data would like to ask council for another $1,000 so work can begin around the first week of March. Is that good enough for you? All right, I'm fine.
That's $2,000 budget.
Yep,
Okay, thank you.
really appreciate. So send the other letter in for the letter of support, though.
Thank you.
And thank you both for coming.